Muted. Yes, we are muted. That's me really just suffering with the heat. Okay, let's start all over again then. Hello.
Right. Hi.
Hey. So we did a fantastic intro, and now it didn't work because we were muted. And I'm suffering with the heat.
That was my second fantastic intro on the stream. Once it was with Lorna, now with you. Both of them. It's a shame.
It's something odd on this stream deck because the problem is I've got the button marked mute, but I have to have it on, like showing lit up active to mean the sound is on. I need to change the label on the button because I look at it and I think that like mute being active means I'm muted, whereas actually it should be audio on or off rather than mute. I've got like a double negative thing probably. Lorna said, "You might be too hot, but your LEDs are awesome." Oh, these are my Lifex bulbs that do the background, so it doesn't look quite so washed out and stuff. Yes, we've got some just to add some colour to a very plain wall otherwise. And I can see, yeah, I've got kind of the lighting's weird because I've got like different blinds to try and keep the sun out or the heat out, and it's hot. I know it's probably not as hot as it is for a lot of people, but yes, it is on brand, Alex. We could have different colours, but at least it's one where you can have like the the coloured gradients. So anyway, right, let's get on with it because I think we're going to make this quick before we both melt. I have to go and stick my head in another bucket of iced water. What are we going to do today?
So what are we? Right, Voiceflow. We're talking today about Voiceflow, and we're gonna have a look at how you could build with a low-code, no-code tool things for Alexa and Google Home.
Cool. So yes,
I am hoping for Sam to show me some interesting things with Alexa, because
I think you've just frozen there, Yulia. If you can still hear me. So I think that's your headphones and your Wi-Fi again. You probably can't hear me, so I'm just going to tell you in Slack. Message her because she's probably gone completely offline. So I'll just carry on for now until Yulia comes back, hopefully. Yeah, so Voiceflow. Voiceflow is a app I've known about for a while, but it's something we started looking at again recently. Aha! Is that Yulia crackling back into life? There was some audio. Nope. Just got there we go. You're back.
Back. Good. Perfect. Headphones.
Yes, that's what I thought. It's that thing with your headphone. I don't get why it is. Why it's fine for like, you know, the first. We've had this Skype call up for about 40 minutes, haven't we? And it's only when we start streaming, and nothing. I'm doing the streaming, so nothing changes your end. But suddenly your headphones decide a couple of minutes in that, or maybe Alex should get off the Wi-Fi.
Can explain.
Yeah. It's probably Alex. Yes.
But then again, if someone has an idea why, when I am using Bluetooth headphones, my internet connection dies.
Well, they're the same. They're the same frequency because Bluetooth and Wi-Fi use 2.4 gigahertz. As well, Wi-Fi can use 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, but it's something to do with. What's weird is your Bluetooth headphones manage to kill your Wi-Fi. We've got some hissing. Because it's normally the other way. Like Bluetooth is less powerful. I think we lose the noise cancelling on your headphones as well when you plug them in. But we'll just put up with the fan noise.
I do hear the hissing, and
it's yeah. I think the noise cancelling dies. Yeah, it's all we need to get you a better headphone mic something set up. These AirPods seem quite good, but
well, or you could talk to us about what we're gonna do today while I wire up a second microphone.
That seems to have got better, I think. Well, that's getting a bit better. Just carry on like that. The hissing's gone.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, and yeah, Alex will stop playing with the Wi-Fi. I think we need to. I don't know if it's your Wi-Fi or your headphones that's causing the problem, or both. Right. So what are we talking about? Voiceflow. Yeah, I was just saying, Voiceflow's like. Keep drinking water. A low code. I think probably low code, maybe no code. We'll find out as usual when we start digging into it. Web app originally for building. Oh, again, let me mute her. Skills for initially Alexa, and then they added Google Assistant or Google Home, and I think they've got a couple of others. They've got the Samsung Bixby thing in there as well. I saw somewhere. Just looking, but primarily it's Google and Amazon because those are the two big platforms. So yeah, it's a way to create skills. So a little bit different from usual. But I've got my my Echo Show here set up. So this is the big Echo Show with the screen on it. It's the one that I grabbed off my desk, and I can mute Alexa. But I'll spin it around when we do any visual stuff. So we're going to have a go at playing with this to build a skill. I say I've had a little play with it, but I've not done very much, and I kind of been on my list to look at for a while. So should we dive in? So I think I'm going to have a go at the Alexa stuff because it's the one I know a little bit more about the platform, and I think I get the easy option because what we were saying before, Voiceflow was kind of created for Alexa first, wasn't it? And it seems to be a little bit more of a slick setup procedure with that. But let's have a go. So I've already got logged in. Let's sign up. But this is the editor. I think it's all very white actually. I don't know. I like my first impressions of sort of the design is a bit pale.
It's really UI, as in the tools you would use for design mockups.
It's very but it's all very pale, isn't it? It's I don't know if it's just maybe this screen or something, but I find it a little bit hard to.
Also, you can customize it.
Oh, are there themes?
Because it's
something
white by default, but then you can assign colors depending on what kind of steps those are. So if you have a yes or no path.
Oh, those
Then you can't
change a theme though, can you? On like the editor. No.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
No, it's just it feels a little bit soft to like to see what you're finding. Everything seems grayed out. It's hard to know what's active and what's inactive. I think that's my first thoughts. But so yeah, this is if we go back one stage to the projects. Can I delete that one? Project is what I was playing around with. So I've got this Voiceflow test imaginatively named project, which is blank and is set up for Alexa. Yeah. And that's kind of ready to go. I did already link this to my Alexa account, but that's pretty easy. It's just an OAuth procedure. So you do link to my Alexa account, and it asks you for your Amazon username and password. And I think you're probably all set. I don't know, because obviously I've done classic Alexa dev with code, so I've got my account is already set up for development. I don't know if that's like if there's some other stage. I don't think there would be because the Amazon are quite good at the whole single sign-on. Yep, I should have given you a warning at the beginning. If you've got a smart speaker at home, mute it now because we're going to say the A word and the OG words a lot today. So yeah. Otherwise, I'll just say things like, Alexa, put 5,000 potatoes on my shopping list, and add that to everybody's shopping lists. And I've got this one muted. The one out in the hallway's just picked me up, so that serves me right. There's too many devices.
Karma.
Yeah. So anyway, we've created our first we've created our project, just called Voiceflow Test, and really this is what it gives you. So by default, an Alexa skill has three built-in intent handlers. So there's what they're calling home is normally what we known as the launch intent. So this is what do you do when you open the skill, when we say Alexa open Voiceflow test. So that's your normal start. You've also got help, and although they're saying now they're depreciated. Okay. Project will work. Recommend you update this block as soon as possible. So how do I update it? Is this tell you what, let's create a new project for this because that might be very old. Let's call it Flow Code Hour. And we're going to set it up for US and UK English.
Is it for the language it's listening in?
Yeah. So so that is when you build a skill, you have to create language models for each language that your device is set to. So there's kind of two things with Alexa. There's the device language, so that you can set up in the app. That's basically what your locale is set to, and there's also the region where your account is from a skills from a store point of view and things. So you can have a UK linked device which gives you access to all the UK available skills, because skills are released so you can release a skill in different regions but also with different languages. And I think there's some sort of typically it's obviously, you have to have it set to UK English to release in the UK region and stuff, but you can also support multiple because it's the same back end, so you can support multiple languages in a region. So I think in theory you could release a skill in the UK that handled both UK and German, and if somebody had their device set to German, even if it was on a UK account, it would use the German language. So it gets a little bit confusing, but from this point of view, because we're not going through any of the releasing stuff, it's all just to do with the language your device is set to. And the thing that people often forget is that British English and American English are different languages, certainly in the sense of Alexa, because it's the accent and things, but just because you have one set up doesn't mean it'll match to the other. If you've got a mismatch somewhere, if it's not triggering, check that you haven't just set your device to US or vice versa. So at least getting it working in your home country for your own device should be relatively easy. So yeah, this is the basics of a skill. So we've got our launch intent, and they've obviously rearranged it slightly, and you've got your stop. Okay, so they're doing it now in separate flows, that looks like, for handling. So you have a handler for every skill has a built-in commands of stop and help out of the box. So help, and in order to pass certification, you have to handle those in the usual kind of sensible ways. So stop should just generally stop and say kind of goodbye or something, and help gives useful help information like what are the intents and things. But let's have a go at doing a really basic one. So we've got our handler for open. So it's always going to be Alexa open, and then in this case the word like invocation is low code hour, which is the name of our project. And I'm going to drop a speak in here. So she will say, "Welcome to the low code hour on Twitch." If I could type today. We're going to set our voice to just be the default, so you can do kind of accents and different things, but we'll set it to the default. We've got some playing around with SSML type language stuff.
That's quite cool because you can select different parts of the text and apply them differently. So I had a bit of play with it.
It'll just. So this is SSML, but
what was SSML?
Speech synthesis markup language. So it's a bit like HTML, but it's like little tags you can put around a string of text. Let's just say, you see there when it actually inserts it, emphasis level strong. So we're going to do welcome to the low code hour on Twitch, and it should say Twitch slightly stronger. System, what's that do? Oh, okay, that's just another. Take that one out. How do I delete that? Randomize output? No. Oops. Okay, I don't think I can. I don't know what I did there. Switch. So actually, let's do low code hour in our emphasize bit because that might be a little bit easier to hear. And we're just going to wire stuff up as usual that way, just like any other. Oh, your hissing's back. Never mind. Right, so if we hit upload, this is going to go away and do a whole bunch of building stuff, which always takes a little while with Alexa, mainly because it's deploying. But I believe these this Voiceflow platform, they don't run the stuff on Lambda. They do the hosting for you. So if you build a normal Alexa skill, you generally run your code on Lambda. You can run it anywhere, but I think 99% of the time I've seen people run it on Lambda. Whereas in this, they're hosting the code for you. So they're just configuring your Alexa developer account with the skill and the voice model and things. There we go, upload successful. So now, let's give this a try. Alexa, open low code hour.
Welcome to the low code hour on Twitch.
Okay, I'm not quite sure that was strong. It was more slurred for low code hour. But did you hear that?
You can try with. I did hear that. I couldn't really tell the difference, but you can change the voice name or make it slow.
Yeah,
maybe
we can change something in there to. That's strong. Let's try it in reduced and see what that does. I was just going to try turning the thing around. Yeah, that's uploading. It's a bit hard to see when it's kind of doing the upload. The spinner is a little bit subtle. Add a dramatic pause. Yeah, we could. Oh, I won't upload again because it's going to take forever with these uploads. Come on, This part of Alexa Dev being really slow. There we go. Alexa, open the low code hour.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, open low code hour.
Welcome to the low code hour on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the emphasis stuff there. I've never found the SSML to be massively useful, other than pauses. But let's. Oops.
Speed and pauses, I could tell.
Yeah.
But emphasis is really.
I did have a skill I built ages ago that went through demonstrating like all different pieces of SSML when it first came out, but I'm struggling to get this to like the UX, trying to edit things in text. Well, maybe I can. I was just like deleting the wrong thing. Break, short. Got a short break there. No, that'll do it. So yeah, there's our basic sort of hello world. Let's try hooking it up to something, shall we?
Did you know you can integrate with Zapier?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Where is that? Integration, I assume. Okay. Ooh,
yes.
Should we?
Or any other APIs.
Yeah,
really.
you can make API. You can make external API calls. Yeah, Zapier and Google Sheets. So useful for low code stuff, being able to log things. Let's yeah, because let's try and make it. Just trying to think how to do this. I really want to try and build something that will let me query the state of my Tesla battery, not that car, but the house one. So I can, and I've kind of got the API to read that already into Node-RED, and actually it publishes it to a website. Because if I bring up my house's solar power. I don't know if this has a queryable. So here's all the readings from my solar panels. As you can see, it's a very sunny day. But somewhere in here, extended data. Yeah, this blue line is basically the percentage for my battery. So it's quite interesting. So obviously, it's been at 100% since about lunchtime because it charges up. So overnight, it discharged a bit, ran, kind of didn't charge, but then started charging again at 9 o'clock this morning. And I think it's possible to get this as an API. Let's see if we can. Get an API. Rapid API. I want it in Rapid API. I just want. I was hoping there'd be like a really nice, simple feed, but would.
I found that even with that integration, the API bit isn't really low-code.
True. Yeah. Is that
friendly? So that's why Zapier might, like, even if the API one is more straightforward and easier.
Yeah. So okay, let's have a look at the API.
The Zapier would be more.
Yeah, it's sort of an HTTP request, isn't it? Get. You've got special URL headers. Transform into variables. Is this based on responses? No?
I'm not sure about that. My best bet was that it might be the editor level variables.
Yeah. Yeah. So transform into variables. So yeah, things that you've got like so these are the variables that come from the Alexa triggered skills like user ID and stuff. So yeah, you can use them in the query. So that will be obviously. Keep closing this. Object path is going to be your key. So if you want to use stuff in the query, it would do that. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's maybe low code, but let's try Zapier then, shall we? And see if we can make it do something with Zapier. That's fun. Trigger a Zap. So create trigger. Trigger name. Low code hour. So let's create a trigger called low code hour. Now I'm guessing. Oh, if this is Zapier setup.
Yeah, that should be quick.
Oh, okay. It's a key-based thing. So they're still doing the beta thing. So you've got to think of Zapier beta. Probably means I need to log into Zapier. There we go. Yeah, Voiceflow, accept invite and build a Zap. Okay, this could be good. There's all my Zaps. Right, so now we'll create a Zap. Voiceflow. There we go. Voiceflow by invite. Choose a trigger. New message for trigger. I guess. Yeah.
So back in Voiceflow, you have the option to start the trigger with a message.
I'm guessing this is where it's going to ask me for the token. Just add. I think it was that. It wasn't that token.
Okay, that's a first.
Maybe I'd copied something else to the clipboard going through all the. Shorter that time. Yeah, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, that seems to have linked it. Okay, yep, that's linked it to my Voiceflow account. Trigger, so now, yeah, that'll find my trigger. Cool, low code hour. Press the trigger, it'll probably show very little data. Yep, because I'm not sending a text. Okay, so there's the trigger. And then let's do an SMS, shall we? too many SMS applications. Send an SMS. This has my API account. From, we can make it on numbers, can't we? From that one to number, and now can we use the message value? Let's test that. I don't know where the SMS will be received because my phone's off.
Do you need a number for testing?
Possibly. Or we can, yes, because I think that should have, I thought that would have come to my laptop as well. But 2 seconds, let's just go onto secrets, check if it's showing up in messages there. No. Maybe that's because we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to, what do you want to do?
I did send one over.
Sorry? You sent me a
but
message. Have you sent one on Slack?
I did send a number over, but go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, where did you send it? On Slack or?
No, I can
Send
do
it in
that.
Slack and I'll, yeah. Oh. That's fine. That's cool. Okay, I'll just go back to our secrets. Oops, that's done. That's done. Right. And oops, hang on, I'll go back. Let me come off that and go back.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Just bring it back. Oh, I think we just caught you, but yeah. There we go. So message is received. Oh, we can't quite see. We can't see the message bit. Move your.
Yeah.
So that's sending. Okay, that's the Zapier sending a message piece. So what we can do in here is add a message. Right, and we need to start trigger with message. How can I use a variable? I need to collect something.
How is Alexa with sending messages by default?
This is intense.
Because I could definitely use a service that would.
The problem is
send messages.
Yeah.
By voice command.
So typically, trying to do like full. This is an intense. No, we don't want. Yeah. We want to collect some input. The problem is it doesn't usually. Trying to do like completely free text in a skill is quite difficult because you can't build like a model for what the message is. So you end up with sort of some hacks. I'm just trying to. That's what I was just trying to see how you could do that in here. Capture. What is capture? Capture a user response. That's what we wanted. Type custom slot. Enter user reply. Question. What the name is. Yeah. And capture into a variable called user. Let's do that for a minute. So. I'll make that a question, and then I think we can add it in here, into this block.
So as far as I understood, adding it into the block is just like connecting it after the block, except it looks neater.
Okay, it doesn't make any difference then whether we. I was wondering. Yeah, I was just wondering whether it chains them up, or I don't know if it makes any difference in the way it sends it to Alexa in in multiple turns versus in one response. Capture custom to user. Oh, here's a dog. Yeah, it's just going to be below the camera. Go on, lie down. I know, too hot. Lie down. Grimble, bed. Go on, go to bed. Okay, we'll just. So we're going to capture username as a custom thing there, and then let's wire that to this block, which says thanks. That has. Oh, thank you. How do I add a username like that? Yep. Still got to use the. It's funny the mustache kind of templating symbol stuff. It seems to be very much even in low code or no code tools, like the convention. But I don't know how easy that is for non-developers to understand the. I mean, you've got to have the kind of concept of templating. Like, there's no getting away from it, or at least nobody's found an easy way to go from it. But it's not. It's feels like a very developerish thing to me. Still, I don't know, what do people think?
It is, but you have to signal somehow that it's not a word in a sentence. So.
Yeah, it's. I think there's certain concepts you've got to understand within development, and I think variables are probably. I mean, when you whenever you learn anything with programming, like variables are usually the first. Well, usually it's like print hello world, and the next thing you do is store your name in a variable and then print $name or whatever, and like, so it is the most basic principle, I think, of code, but it always makes me feel like, is there a way we can avoid this in low code? But maybe there isn't. So let's.
The only tool I've seen that doesn't use it so far is Shortcuts. And I'm not 100% sure it doesn't use it at all.
It sort of does a graphical thing, doesn't it? It kind of, yeah.
Yes. So it highlights different variables. No, I don't know how to show that.
Oh, you're off the screen. Through. You need to come a bit other way. That there. Whoop, whoop, there. Okay. Back. Back. About there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it highlights different.
Yeah. But it tells you which application they're coming from. I mean, Zapier does something similar, doesn't it? Because they're sort of. I think it still uses the brackets. But I like the way it.
Sometimes it does use the brackets
when you open. The nice thing being in the editor, as soon as I type a curly bracket, it brings up the list of them, so I can.
And if it doesn't have one, then it creates.
Yeah. So what this should do is this should launch the skill, ask the name, capture the name, and then send you an SMS with telling you the name. I think we've done that. Why is one password? I don't want to save the name in one password. You might get a. I don't know if that went or not. Did that come through?
We'll see. It lights up if it comes through.
Yeah, you're way too close to the screen again. There you go.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't think the test. No, I think that was me clicking out of the window. There's something. Here we go. Successfully triggered Zap. We should be able to see in Zapier. Except I didn't turn the Zap on, which is probably why that failed. So let's try that again. Test integration. Oh, there's something about this. As soon as you click outside of the window, but it's weird because it's asking me to enter the variable and then move up. There we go. Right, triggered that.
Oh yes. Someone named Bob opened your
Cool.
skill.
Okay, so that's me testing it from there. So let's upload this and try this on the device. There's definitely some weirdnesses when I click around this this UI. It's very easy to accidentally like close a window or something when you click out of it and lose where you were.
Oh yes, with the initial speak. Was that what was
I've done it a few
happening?
times now. It's just something that, yeah, if you, because they look like windows, but then you don't expect a window to close if you click outside of it. Okay, upload successful. So let's try this. Alexa, open low code hour.
Welcome to the Low Code Hour on Twitch. What is your name?
Sam.
Thank you, Zero, that has been sent.
Zero. Now, is that just not? That might be because I've used a slot. It said thank you, Zero. I don't know if that was it.
And someone named Zero.
Is it actually Z? Has it actually
skill.
written ZERO? No, just O.
No, it's a null.
I wonder if let's try, because rather than using a custom slot, let's try a GB first name and tell it it's a British first name and tweak our model then. Because that's where I used a custom slot, and I don't think I did. Maybe because I didn't define the custom slot. So let's try this.
Because you can select type.
Yeah, so I've now
when
set,
you define the custom
well,
one.
I've now set the type to one of the built-in GB first name. Names are a really difficult concept for voice assistants to understand. Still uploading.
Are you uploading?
Yeah, you can see that. You can just about see the little spinner in the top corner. It's at least it gives me a chance to have a drink in between. Grimble's got back downstairs, sleep onto my cooler. Okay, upload. Let's try again. Alexa, open low code hour.
Welcome to the Low Code Hour on Twitch. What is your name?
Sam.
Thank you, Sam, that has been sent.
Thank you, Sam, that's been sent. Yep,
Yes.
and someone named Sam opened your skill. Cool, so that works. That's quite cool. So for you've got to understand, like a lot of these tools, you have to still understand some of the ins and outs of the platform, I think. And this doesn't help you understand. Well, it's a bit, but you still got to understand a bit about Alexa development and thanks for that, and the kind of limitations and things on there. It just takes away the syntax of the code. I mean, it's a bit like when the stuff we've done with Node-RED and the Vonage API. You've still got to kind of understand the voice API and the quirks of that. And I should really understand the Alexa API, but it's been so long. But yeah, so and things like understanding what a slot is, and or an input type. I suspect, what's helpful.
They have quite nice documentation, which I found.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop a link for that.
So yeah, we've got. Oh, that's interesting. You can see the little Amazon and Google icons next to it for things that are slot sites that are available. So there's time is available on Google, and date, and color, and country, and number, but not a lot. Phone number. Phone number's always an interesting one. If we do custom. Right. Well, that's what I forgot to do with custom. Yeah. You have to give it the values. That's why when we set custom, it drops down here with what are the possible values. So you have to, if it's creating a custom object, you have to give it that list, that dictionary, which is why you can't just do message, because you'd have to give it like all the possible messages.
So the difference between capture and prompt would then be
Prompt is prompt listens to an intent. So prompt maps to a new prompt is like a branching as to what you want to, so you say capture captures or we call it choice, capture or choice, isn't it?
So
Yeah,
I understood that you prompt and then it listens for something to map to an intent, and then you would use these two blocks together.
So,
but then you wouldn't need the person to say the exact words. It would map to the intent.
The difference is one
so as
is
opposed to that with
one
the
is collecting
capture.
input, one is navigating. So prompt is welcome to Domino's Pizza. What would you like to do? And you've got is your prompt, and you've got two different intents. You've got new order or check my order. I want to know where my pizza is, or I want to place I want to order a pizza. Then you say, I want to order a pizza. That would take you to the order pizza intent. And at that point, it would then say, what toppings do you want on your pizza? And that would be a choice where you would collect from a custom object of pizza toppings. Actually, ordering a pizza is a really good one for figuring out a skill, because you can have a custom slot with pizza toppings, which is everything on your menu. And so that's where with one, you're taking the user automatically down a path based on what they've chosen. So a prompt is navigation, and a choice, in this sense, they're calling it, a capture. A capture is not a choice. What's a choice then? There's prompt and capture. A choice.
I believe is when you have to pick a path.
So I think you use a choice in conjunction with a prompt, maybe. Yeah, name new intent or select existing intent. So these are part of the navigation, whereas capture is part of the logic for capturing stuff. Platform do. Okay, and platform allows us to do some of the Alexa specific stuff, like displaying or playing audio. One thing I did notice is I suppose it's the nature of a voice app, but you can't fork things. It has to always go, like, you can't send two outputs from one capture and do two things. So you have to do all of that. You can only go from one to another block. So, for example, if I had a display in there now, have you seen it? So the display stuff allows you to display like images and stuff on a Echo that's got a screen. So if I upload, I think that'll work. I don't know whether it takes care of handling the imaging. That's just a capture of my backdrop I just uploaded. But visual. Oh, that's my wife phone. Let me shut the door. That will display a screen on the Zoom. So I've just added a visual into that confirmation. Let's try uploading that. Oh. Oh, this is the slow bit. Maybe we'll switch over to Google in a minute, shall we? See what you can do with that.
Yeah.
Try and get this visual stuff to work.
You can already see a couple of differences. Well, for a platform.
Okay. So if I turn this
There are
around, hopefully you can see the screen, just about, and it will display that image. So if I say, Alexa, open low code hour.
Welcome to the Low Code Hour on Twitch. What is your name?
Matthew.
Thank you, Sam, that has been sent.
Interesting. And I didn't see if it displayed the picture. And I also decided to grab the name. Now, is that because that's because I changed, I switched the slot to custom rather than name. I don't know why it decided to just recognise Sam. Did it send you the text with Sam in it, or?
Yes, I believe if you go to prototype, then you can enable a mode of testing.
Oh,
where it will say.
Yeah, in the. Yeah. What is your name? Oh, yeah, we can do it by. Thank you, Bob. That has been sent. Yeah, that's the sort of their interactive tester.
So now that was Bob.
Yeah, that was me, Andrew. I just changed it back to name. Anyway, I won't bother rebuilding it again because that's just going to take forever, and I'm struggling with heat. My aircon's dropping out. So, do you want to try some Google stuff on your account?
Let's do that. Let me switch this over.
Let me, stop my screen share. And if you screen share, that should come in a second. Twitch to catch up. There we go. That should be streaming your screen now.
All good?
Yep, I think so. Yep, we've got it on the stream as well. So.
Right, so far it looks the same. So let me create a new project.
I'll give it a name.
Actually, I think you could. Oh, yes. In the meantime, has anyone tried Voiceflow before? We have people around. So, yeah, as you said, Alexa kind of looks like the default.
Okay, yeah.
Because it always comes in with Alexa, even if I used Google Assistant before that. But we can switch over. And starting block kind of looks the same.
Yeah, so we've got the stop and the help.
And as far as I can tell, options are the same except for platform, where there are less options, fewer options. So what shall we try?
Well, let's see if we can do the same thing but on Google maybe to start with. Let's just see if we can get a collect. So say something and get their name. So it just plays it back to you, doesn't it? The little yeah. It's really odd that you have to sort of just click out of that window and it disappears again.
So, is that how you get it deleted a couple of times?
Yeah, well, no, I think that's it. Now you've done it. You just click on the main canvas. But there's no. What I was looking for was like a done or like a save. You know, maybe that's just me kind of Node-RED thinking. But...
So it does auto save.
It's just a bit odd. It's almost like too intelligent to me.
And then once that is done, you use the capture. So input type would be a name.
You have a name? Given name, they call it. Yeah. Input to.
And capture input to variable, and that's going to be
new variable called username or something.
Okay, so that looks good.
And then from the output,
and then
we just do a
another
speak to say
maybe.
thank you, hello. Yeah, to read the name back to them. Hello, username, nice to meet you. You've got to know to hit that little bracket thing, but there's no icon, there's no kind of button to bring up the variables, is there?
That's a good point. Let's see.
What do the dots do? Nope.
Randomize outputs.
Yeah, that's where you can have like 4 different possible responses, and it'll just cycle through them. So you might say like, "Hello, Yulia, nice to meet you," or "Hi there," or so it's one of the things people found early on with voice assistant design is ways to make things sound more human. Is humans don't, although they say the same thing, they don't say it in exactly the same way every time. We use hi, hello, interchangeably. So all of the platforms kind of early on added this like ability to select multiple different, to have multiple ways, multiple greetings and just switch between them so it sounds less robotic. But no, there isn't an option for audio. Will do files, I guess. Yeah.
Interesting. Another interesting thing that you had options to select a voice name.
Yes, but Google doesn't support that.
We do have the effect.
You've got the SSML stuff in Google, I think, but.
Right, so that should be good so far.
Those up.
Speech rate. Let's play with that.
Play with it in your.
So.
You scroll down a bit into the.
For you to hear this, I will have to plug out the headsets, but then you will hear yourself if you're going to talk.
Oh, I think I have mine turned down. I didn't even hear it doing the voice piece. But I'll keep quiet. I'll mute myself.
Right. So that is oddly quiet, and it's not from the system.
Yeah, I think Skype's being clever at cutting out feedback noise.
So user says. So it literally read out the answer including the exclamation mark.
Where did you mean in? Hello, welcome to the Low Code Hour! Exclamation mark. What did it say? I didn't read it.
It did not happen with the welcome to the Low Code Hour, but it did happen with the nice to meet
What
you
did it
part.
say? Hello.
Hello, Julia, and then nice to meet you, then exclamation mark.
Have you got it inside the? Open up your. Open up that block where you've got the prosody, and I wonder if it's because. Yeah, I wonder if that's because so you've got the exclamation mark outside of the. To be honest, I mean, you wouldn't normally use an exclamation mark in a voice interaction anyway, because you know it's more of a written thing, isn't it? I suspect that was because you had the prosody and you didn't. It was separate, so effectively there would have been a gap between the speech that you've got with the prosody wrapped around it and then the exclamation mark. Okay, so you didn't manage to get it to work on Google devices, did you? Or you were trying. The setup is really difficult, isn't it?
Setup for Google is slightly painful.
I think slightly is an understatement.
Turns out you have to do that for every one of these. Should we go through the process, or
I don't know. I think.
Should I switch?
Go on. Should you switch?
So yes, because I have the other one.
Yeah, let's. Yeah. Did
The problem is that even when you have it set up, it still requires other things. So it says that, test on your own device. That's a first, because an hour ago it wouldn't allow that.
So did you manage to get all the...
So you may test on the Google Actions Simulator.
Okay. Can you not test? I thought you could build a skill and test on your own device with Google Actions, but maybe not.
I do think that.
I do remember when I started playing with this before we went on stream, setting up the auth is like really quite hard work with Google because they make you create a project and then create an account within the project, and it's like so many layers in before you.
So I did save it for this occasion.
Is that middle one we developed on the dialog point? About the fourth one in. Oh, you.
So these are all my tabs that I had to open to connect the services together.
Did you get to the action simulator anyway? Did you get to the simulator anyway? I think we just lost your audio a bit
there. Are you getting audio?
Yeah, you're fine now. I think I just dropped out for a second. Did you have the Google? Did you manage to get the Google simulator or whatever it's called? The actions. Yeah, the Google Actions Simulator. If you open that up, will it allow you to test in the simulator?
It doesn't really look like that.
Yeah. So start using simulator.
So I can.
It's your favorite tool to add actions to your app. So it doesn't think it's got any actions added there, maybe. Yeah, but you see, we don't want the whole idea of the Voiceflow tool is to avoid using the Google tool.
So it.
Yeah, test. Hang on, go back to test. Changes were made to this project 2 hours ago. Reset your test to load the latest updates. Click reset test and see what that. See if it just hasn't refreshed.
And then there's view logs. Because reset doesn't really look like it's doing anything.
Tons of information, I suspect, in logs. Yeah, that's really helpful. Google. Yeah, there's definitely sort of getting started. I was impressed with how easy the Alexa stuff was with Voiceflow, the Google stuff, and I don't think it's necessarily, you know, Voiceflow's fault that it's quite so difficult. I think I'm assuming they're constrained by the Google platform, because I mean Alexa has a whole bunch of APIs for creating and managing skills. Yeah, there's the Alexa Skills Kit API, which is obviously what they plug into. I think with this, they're possibly, I don't know, does Google have the same sort of APIs for Dialogflow? Or does it rely on you doing more? It certainly seems to rely on at least some kind of more manual or more, you know, browser-based setup for a user. It's ironic, isn't it? That you can get a better, an easier experience if the platform exposes an API, because if you expose an API, it allows other people to create tooling that uses your API to manage things. Whereas if you just say, hey, we've got a web interface, it's like, okay, but if your web interface is easy to use, or, you know, you can never create the web interface for all users. I think it's kind of where Google let down here.
Well, in case anyone would like to try it out, this is how it starts. And they have it quite well documented. And this is the step-by-step process.
How many steps, though?
So first you create an action. Then you go to Dialogflow. Then create a Dialogflow agent. Then you build your first action.
Are we building the action in Dialogflow?
Then you've got a Dialogflow project, but now you need to go to Google for well, this is where it usually throws an error. For example, even when using Google Sheets, it will throw an authentication error. So you will have to create, yes, the IAM admin service account.
You have to create this.
So you have to create a service account for that.
This is the thing that Google seem to use. Google do it on all their developer APIs, and it's not very user friendly, I have to say. I think the problem is that maybe if you're a developer, it's fine. Like I have the same thing with the Google Sheets nodes that I built for Node-RED. You have to kind of go through and create a service account to access Google Sheets, and copy and paste that JSON object, and it's just not kind of intuitive if you're not a developer. But if you're trying to do anything with a sort of low-code tool, then they're still requiring you to use like the developer level authentication. It's a bit of a, I don't know, there's something just not quite as easy there, but I don't know what the answer is, because it's all buried in the Google code, kind of creating project stuff. It'd be really nice if you could just OAuth something to your Google account and use it yourself. Maybe Google aren't so interested in people just building their own personal projects.
It might not be. Yeah, and at the end of it all, you then create a key and download it as a JSON. And then you come back and upload the JSON file here, which I did for the other project.
Okay, for this one, yeah.
for this one. The problem is that it still doesn't. Well, my Google Home doesn't recognize.
Let's
this
try.
project.
Just try it again now, because I wonder if it's if it's like a propagation thing.
Hey Google, start test project.
Oh, Lorna's asking a question.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Is Voiceflow pretty actively in? Is Voiceflow in pretty active development? Do you think it's something? Yes. So it definitely is in active development. I actually had a chat with the CEO last week, and they've got a whole bunch. I mean, they're a startup, Voiceflow. They've got like 5 million in funding, I think. They're in sort of Canada and San Francisco, kind of distributed team, but they're certainly, shipping features. They just shipped a whole bunch of collaboration features, which we're going to try, but you need to be on a Teams plan for that, so you can kind of build out multiple, 2 people can work on the same canvas, and they are building a really nice editor, I think. They're very much focused on the sort of the editor experience, rather than being in the hosting game or something perhaps. But yeah, no, there's I don't know how many people there are. It's a small company. I guess maybe 10, 15 people or something behind it. But they've got a few. There's a few quite big names. If we look at their, can you go back to the Voiceflow main website? You can see who. I think they've got some logos on there of like some of their just voiceflow.com or something. It's the main, rather than the creator page. So if we scroll down a bit, it'll probably have the usual. Yeah, here we go. Trusted by companies. Yeah, New York Times, Amazon, ironically, NPR, Best Buy. Yeah, it's. I think what a lot of people are using. So I believe the New York Times are running like a whole bunch of all their Alexa stuff through this. Some other companies are using it as like a rapid prototyping tool, to kind of get the ideas out, because building voice applications, it's all about kind of getting that interaction, and you can only really get the feel if something works by testing it with real speech. So you really do need prototyping tools that actually produce voice. You can't wireframe a voice skill out. Yeah, no, they're pretty. Yeah, the value of designs on, I'm assuming that's Adobe, and I don't know what the diamond is. Prototypes on,
Sketch.
Yeah,
I believe.
Sketch, Adobe Experience Design or something.
Figma.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. Basically, it's wireframing. For that's my. It's wireframing for voice in many ways, but you can build functional skills and stuff. Hey, who's that?
I think
Envision with
quite
Justin.
neat as well.
We have someone. Yeah, no, it's nice. I mean, it definitely takes away some of the difficulties of like building the interaction model and your path. I'd be interested to see how much we can do. Was there a custom code? So when you want to kind of do your logic for getting the information, custom code block somewhere?
There was in
that was
platform. Yes.
Okay. So you can run JavaScript. So we can just write. Yeah. So you can write code. I wonder how much you can do in that code to work with things, but like getting the data from an external skill or something. Yeah, I think.
Really doesn't have it works.
It's interesting to see the difference between the Alexa and the Google experience on here. It's like very much. It seems really easy to get something working with Alexa, and quite clunky, and it's quite limited. It seems in what you can do with Google. I don't know if that's limitations of Google Assistant. I haven't looked at the Google Assistant platform in any depth for a long time. I know Alexa's got, it seems to be they have a lot more Alexa stuff. I think Amazon are actually, I think, are an investor in them, or one of their Alexa fund or something. So that kind of makes sense as to why it's maybe more geared towards that side of things for now. So, yeah, cool.
It often looks like Alexa first, because The thing that I kind of liked was that you can take your flow that you built for Alexa and just select from the drop down and turn it into Google. And I'm unable
because
to
you're logged
switch
in
it
twice
because
somewhere.
I am signed in twice.
Yes, yeah, you can. I mean, it is that kind of, you know, write once, run anywhere concept. Of course, that relies on you not doing anything that's platform specific. You end up, that works if you've got a simple skill.
The problem with that is that all the intents are platform specific. So when making use of intents and different variables, you will have to redo all of those when switching
Right. So
platform.
you switch platforms, and it basically creates a copy, and then you can go through and make the sort of changes to you for the platform.
So you will keep the structure as you have it, but then, for example, if you
it's the slots, isn't it? That's going to be
yes. So I think if it's a choice, and then you have
it'd be a capture one. No, the capture will be the ones that will that'll be different because they've got the different slot types.
yes. So before I played with choice and prompt and intent, and I knew that for choice I had to replace all of them because they are based on intent. So you create them in here, but once you change the platform, then these will disappear, and you will have to do the setup all over again. You will keep the block, and you will keep the hello Twitch, but all the paths that you list in there, you will have to repopulate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be the idea. It's a nice idea that you can just run something, build it once for multiple platforms, but I'm never convinced that it's not. Either you end up doing a lot more work to make something flexible, or it's a compromise. So I think you're always going to have to make some changes. I think the thing that's interesting for me is those external connections, the way they've brought in Zapier and Google Sheets, actually, and we're starting to see this idea of low-code platforms working together and kind of going, well, actually, this is a good low-code platform for, so this is a great low-code platform for building an Alexa skill, but, if you want to integrate with external systems, Zapier is great for that. If you want to store data, Google Sheets is good for that. And, we're starting to see this kind of low-code stack appear where we have different and people building things. I wonder if we can see more stuff being built across multiple different low-code tools. I mean, it's no different to a normal application, is it? We use front-end application, front-end technologies, back-end services, database, data storage layers, databases. And I think Zapier is definitely the obvious one there because it's the glue. Google Sheets is amazing because Google Sheets does seem to be the thing that everybody wants to use to store their data, just because it's easy and almost everybody's got it. Did you say the setting up Google Sheets was similar to the same amount of pain with like service accounts and stuff? Or
Nothing here in
Node-RED, yeah. But
so in here, I want to, let's say, retrieve data as user.
Okay, so they've got the OAuth stuff. Cool.
So I think this looks a bit neater.
But you see, I suppose the interesting thing is that from Google's perspective, there is only the service account is the application acting on, it's the developer account. So here, Voiceflow is the developer accessing Google Sheets, and then you are as a user OAuthing Voiceflow to your Google Sheet, so they don't require you to set up the service account piece. The problem with doing that, I've tried to do that in Node-RED, would be like I'd have to put the developer credentials into the. If you find if I was running one instance of Node-RED on my server, but it's because you run it yourself. So everybody is a developer as well as a user in the Node-RED model. Whereas, okay, so we can just grab stuff from the Google Sheet.
So, and those are pro features.
Yeah, I think, do you have the trial though?
Sharing.
What does exporting as an image or something do? Try export. No, you have to be. I wondered if you had like a trial with Pro. So
I can invite you to edit, but
you
then
had to be on a.
I believe that still keeps my credentials, because I was going to see whether if you share the workflow, would it export my login details, my email address?
Like the credentials. I guess it probably would in this sense because it's more for like collaboration, isn't it? Than and it's you've got the auth token because when you're exporting, I would expect it wouldn't, but when you're sharing, I would assume it would use the same because it's one application versus a copy.
So the testable link, the idea is to share it so that people can use it without knowing your credentials.
So does a testable link give you?
It gives you a link in the browser.
Does that give you a link to the editor, or does that just give you a link to like a dummy voice console or whatever to use it but not to edit it?
To use it, not to edit it.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you can build something and show it to someone.
So this is the downloads.
Shareable prototype. Oh, so they still see the no, they do still see the flow though. I wondered if they saw the map or if they just kind of got to use it but without seeing how it worked.
So this is how it looks
All
like when you open it up. So you're sharing the link to the prototyping part of
Yeah, that's what I mean. The player kind of stuff.
the editor. Yeah. So this.
Yeah, you just get that little bit. That's what I thought.
Little start test bit.
Oh, right.
And the exporting the canvas, I believe that's the visual flow being exported.
Cool. Right. Well, that's an hour and a bit, and my air conditioning I think is struggling. I think we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to give up there and go and lie in a bucket of ice water. So let's go back.
How did you find it?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's definitely potential. I think it's like all visual things that you need to do it on a big screen. Trying to do it on a small laptop is, just on a 13 inches is harder to navigate. I don't find the UI particularly, as it's unintuitive, but there's something that doesn't quite feel as positive. It's all a bit like it's quite pale and hard to see what you're doing, and also like it's not obvious where to click. Maybe that is intuitive, but it could be stronger, the UI. My gut feel on it, but it's definitely there's definitely potential there for doing stuff. I think I'm gonna have a bit more. Oh, so yeah, you can colorize the blocks. Yeah, it's a little bit. It's things like the palette actually, and the on the left hand side, the editor.
Yes.
They're just not easy to see. So it's a lot of white and grey on that screen. I'd like a dark mode.
True. Maybe there is a way to do
I
that.
did have a quick look in settings. I couldn't see themes or anything, but something to see what you're doing. Cool. Anyway, shall we call it a day there? Let's go back to the big screen.
Yes.
So 2 weeks time. You're on holiday, aren't you? So it's me.
Yes, I am.
And maybe somebody else that I can vote.
So
see if Lorna wants to join me or something. She doesn't know that yet, but she's still watching. And
so what are you going to do?
We're going to do the podcast thing, weren't we? We'd planned. We're going to build a This was an idea of Terence's, dial a podcast. She does now, yeah. So yeah, we're going to have a go at building a voice and SMS application. So back to some Vonage API stuff, but for listening to podcasts over a phone call, and we'll build that in Node-RED, I think. So there was an API I found for like searching for podcasts and things that look quite easy to work with. So we'll see if we can integrate that and create some kind of podcast player over a phone call. So yeah, join us in 2 weeks, and we shall call that a day there. Thanks for listening.